Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season. I hope you had a great Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed your time with family and friends. We still have another holiday coming up, so I thought it'd be fun to sit down and film a New Year's makeup tutorial or a New Year's Eve makeup tutorial. And I wanted to do something using things that I have just laying around. There's nothing new to review or anything like that, so we can just sit back and enjoy makeup that we already have. I knew this whole year that I wanted to use the Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette. I know so many of you guys have this already, and maybe some of you guys received it for Christmas, so I thought it'd be fun to do a tutorial using this. For some reason, this has always screamed like New Year's to me because of the glitters in here, so we're gonna be playing with that. I hope you guys are excited. Let's just get right into it. I'm gonna clip my hair back, and then we will get started. Okay, I already did my brows off camera. Today I used the Anastasia Brow Wiz in dark brown. Next I'm going to do the eyes first. I'm going to use my favorite eyeshadow primer. This is the NARS Tinted Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. Today I'm going to use the shade Medium Dark because I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a smoky eye. So I'm going to use a darker shade on purpose to kind of create a little bit more of a deep base for our other eyeshadows to go on. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out all over the eyelid. And you can see as I blend this out, it's obviously not super dark, but it's deep enough to where I almost already have the beginnings of a transition shade on my eyelid, which I think is really helpful for more intense looks like this, or like the one I'm going to create. All right, let's dip into the Tati Beauty palette. I'm gonna take the matte shade Soothe, and I'm gonna start just a little bit below the crease with this shade and just move it back and forth. And then once there's less product on the brush, I'm just going to buff that a little bit higher to kind of create even more of a deep transition shade right here. Basically right where we applied the primer. We're gonna go ahead and do the exact same thing on this eye. Do you guys have any plans for New Year's? I'll tell you what, I'm so excited for this new year. I feel like 2020 is gonna be such an incredible year, plus it's such a cool year. Like, how lucky are we that we get to live in the year 2020? Like, that's so cool to me. I don't know. I've always been excited for this year, so I can't wait to see what's in store. And my husband and I always like to make vision boards for New Year's, so I'm super excited to do that. And this year, honestly, you guys, like, we planned everything out so that we could be at home for New Year's, because I feel like so often we always spend so much time on like our vision boards and things, and then if we're traveling or somewhere else and stay up late and then we have to travel on New Year's Day, I don't know, it kind of just like kills the vibe for me, you know? Like, I want to be able to be at home so that I can wake up and get going on my New Year's resolutions, like on January 1st, you know? I don't know. So we're just going to be at home hanging out. We might go over to a friend's house, but we're not going to be traveling, which is going to be really nice. I'm just going to take a clean brush and I'm just going to start to buff out the edges up toward the brow. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start to deepen things up. I'm going to take the shade Ritual in the matte formula. I'm going to tap off the extra, and I'm going to start to apply this kind of on the outer portions of the eyelid. And then once there's less on the brush, I'm going to work it into the crease as well, just to start to build the depth there. I'm wanting to do something pretty smoky, and for me, the key to a smoky eye is really building up the layers and going from light to dark when it comes to eyeshadows. It just helps everything look seamless in the end, and it looks intentional instead of just like a bunch of dark eyeshadow slapped on the eyelid, you know? Because dark eyeshadow can be really intimidating, honestly. So this is a nice way to kind of practice building up the intensity, and you can always stop. It's always easier to add darker shadows if you step back and assess the situation and you feel like you want everything to be a little darker. And it's much more difficult to try to lighten things up once you've applied too much. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of the black matte shade in the palette. This is called Memory, and I'm just going to take the tiniest bit because the tiniest bit goes a very long way. And I'm going to start to build this up along that outer corner, kind of along the lash line first. And then again, once there's less product on the brush, I'm going to start to build it and deepen things up, moving into the crease a little bit as well. I'm going to dip back in and add a little bit more up against the lashes. I really love how these are layering together, and it's starting to look more intense, but it's not scary. So I'm going to do the same thing on this eye, just building it up against the lashes first. And then once there's a little less product on the brush, I'm just going to continue to buff this into this outer corner here and then up into the crease. And I'm just taking my time on this because the eyes are the most important for this look. So I really want to make sure it's nice and blended. So there's no need for me to rush, you know? And I am bringing what's left on the brush into the crease a little bit just to create that nice definition in the crease right here. That'll help the end result look much more smoky. I'm gonna go back into the brush that we were using with the dark brown, and I'm just gonna buff over edges here. And then I'm gonna go back in with a clean brush and kind of do the same thing where I just buff out the edges. I really don't want the edges to look muddy or anything. I want them to look seamless, so taking a clean brush to kind of blend everything out works really well. Taking a little bit more of the color Soothe, and I'm just applying it right here on this eye. I felt like it could use a little bit more of that color. Okay, this is where we are going to go in with the glitter shades. I'm going to start off with the Memory shade right here in the glitter formula, of course. Oh man, I look forward to using these glitters every day. I love them so much. I'm going to take that on my finger, and I'm going to start by pressing this more toward the center of the lid. It is New Year's. We are not going to be shy with this glitter, my friends. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I'm obsessed. So I'm just going to keep pressing this on the lid, stopping it right at the crease. And then I'm leaving about 1/4 of the eyelid untouched on the edge here, and then the rest I'm applying glitter on. Oh, I love that so much. Let's do the same thing on this eye. Just applying that Memory glitter with my finger. Oh my gosh, this is just so good. I love it. I'm going to take what's left on my finger and just lightly press it into the inner corner a little bit. I'm going to be layering another lighter glitter right there, but I want it to blend nicely. So I'm just going to try to transfer a little bit of that glitter in the inner corner, but I don't want it to be as intense as the other portion of the eye. So I'm just going to go ahead and wipe off my fingers, make sure they're dry. And I'm going to do the inner corners with my favorite glitter in the palette, which is this one right here called Aura. I've already hit pan on that, which is so sad to me, but you know, I'm not gonna not enjoy it, you know what I'm saying? So, especially on New Year's, we've gotta use it up. So, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of that. I'm gonna go ahead and layer that on the inner portion of the lid, blending it into the existing Memory glitter on the lid. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. The thing that's fun about these glitters is you can make them super duper opaque like this, or you can use it and just kind of tap it and do a little bit of a light glitter if you're not used to wearing glitter, or if you don't like how it looks but you want something a little more festive for New Year's. You could just go a little bit lighter with the amount of glitter that you apply, but for me, I'm loading it up. I'm going all out. Okay, this is looking so pretty. I love it. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the fallout under the eyes. I might do this twice. After I apply mascara, I might go in and clean things up even more. I just want to make sure I have a good shape on this outer edge here. And then I'm going to take my finger and kind of press it down so it's not too harsh. Okay, I normally never do this, but since it's New Year's, we're going to go a little bit more intense with the eyes. I'm going to take the NYX Epic Ink liner, and I'm going to make a really nice thin line right along the lashes. This eyeliner is so good. Like I was saying, I don't normally use eyeliners, but this one is just really, really nice. I'm going to do a bit of a wing. I normally don't, but I'm wanting to put on some false lashes, and I feel like this will kind of complete the look. All right, I'm going to go ahead and apply some top lash mascara. I'm going to use the NARS Climax mascara today, and I'm going to apply a nice coat of that on the top lashes. I'm not going to build it up too much because we're going to use false lashes, but I'm still going to do a pretty good amount. Okay, now that we have mascara on, I'm going to go ahead and pop on lashes now. I'm going to use my favorite lashes. These are from Kiss. They're the Ritzy lashes. I'm just going to do these off camera. I'm going to use the Thrive Cosmetics lash glue, this one right here. So I'm going to pop these on really quick, and I'll be right back to finish up the makeup look. Okay, so lashes are on. Now I'm just going to go in and clean up any more glitter that fell down on the face after doing mascara and lashes. I'm also going to take a little bit of the mascara, just kind of lightly combine my lashes with the false lashes. Okay, so we're going to move on to complexion now. I feel like my skin is pretty prepped. I did my skincare a few hours ago, and I used an oil, and I feel like my skin is nice and prepped for makeup. So I'm going to skip primer today. I'm going to go straight into my Believe Beauty foundation. I used the shade Nude. I'm going to put one pump on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to start to blend this out with my Real Techniques buffing brush. I'm just going to kind of evenly distribute this all over the skin. And then, before it dries down all the way, I'm going to take my sponge. This one's from ColourPop. And I'm going to take what's left on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to use this to blend out the foundation even more and to press it into the skin. Okay, once that's blended out, I'm going to take my concealer. I'm going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I've been super into this all over again recently. It's amazing for like dry skin. I'm just going to go ahead and be pretty generous with that underneath the eye area. I want to make sure that my under eyes are pretty nice and concealed, especially since we have a lot going on. I don't want any dark circles showing. I'm also going to apply some on the chin and down the center of the face. I'm also going to put a little bit right here, and I think that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and take my sponge and just start to blend that out. And I'm going to be really careful around the edges of my eyes to make sure I don't stamp concealer on all of my hard work. Oops, I accidentally stamped concealer over my brows. I'm going to have to fix those in a second. I'm just first making sure the concealer is blended. Okay, let's go ahead and powder the face. I'm going to use my Glossier Wowder in the shade G11 to G12. I'm going to take a bit of that on a smaller brush and I'm going to press that under the eyes first. Then I'm going to take that in the T-zone right over top of the concealer just to make sure it's nice and locked in. And then I always like to take my larger fluffy brush and just take the same exact powder. I'm going to use that to set the entire face. Okay, I'm noticing that I feel like I want a little more of that dark matte black color on this outer portion here. So I'm just taking what's left on the brush and I'm lightly blending that up a little bit higher than where I had it. Okay, let's go ahead and hop back into the Tati palette. I'm actually going to start off with the black shade called Memory in the matte formula. I'm going to take this on a small brush and tap off the extra. And I'm just going to really start to work this in the outer portions of the lash. And I'm kind of connecting it to the winged liner right here. And then I'm lightly bringing it all forward once there's a little less product on the brush, so that it kind of creates an ombre effect from the outer corner into this inner corner here, but the entire lower lash line is still defined. Okay, I'm going to take the metallic shade in the Memory row. I'm going to tap off the extra and I'm going to pop this basically in the center of the lower lash line, making sure to blend it in with the existing matte black on this outer portion. I'm basically trying to mimic what we have on the top lid, but instead of using the glitter, I'm using the metallic version. So next, I'm going to go ahead and go into the metallic shade of Aura. And I'm actually going to take that same brush because I'm kind of wanting to blend these two colors together. And I'm going to start right about here and kind of work that in to this portion of the lower lash line. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And it just wouldn't be complete without a little bit of that Soothe shade. So I'm going to take a bit of that right here in the matte formula again on a smaller brush. I'm going to tap off the extra and I'm just going to go right underneath where everything is on the lower lash line right here. I'm going to kind of do like a reverse transition shade and apply it after all these darker colors right underneath everything to kind of blend it into the skin. Same thing over here. I'm going back in with the brush that we used with the matte black shade. And I'm just kind of intensifying it on the outer corner here because I really liked the definition on that outer corner. But I do like kind of lightening everything up in this inner portion, especially for my eye shape. Okay, next, I'm going to go back into Metallic Aura, which is the most incredible inner corner highlight shade. And I'm going to use it to highlight the inner corners. So I'm just going to take that on a smaller brush and just use it to highlight the inner corner right there, making sure to kind of connect it to both the top eyeshadows right here and also on the lower lash line. I'm kind of doing a subtle scoopity boopity and bringing what's left on the brush up through the crease, but I don't want it to be too intense since we have so much glitter today. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and apply lower lash mascara. I'm not going to be shy with this, especially since we have false lashes on the top lashes. I feel like I can kind of get away with more intense lower lashes to balance it out. Okay, the eyes are done for now. Let's go ahead and warm up the complexion and finish things up. I'm going to take my Ciate London, oh there it is, the Ciate London Palm Island bronzer. I'm going to use this to warm up the face. So I'm going to take that on a bronzer brush and I'm just going to start to kind of press that onto the skin first. And then after I have like the general area, I'm going to go ahead and use a bit more of a buffing motion to blend it in. This Ciate bronzer is a little bit more of a warm tone, which I felt like would complement the transition shade on the eyeshadow. I'm just going to dust a little bit of this on the sides of the nose as well, a little under the lip, and as always along the jawline and down the neck. I always like to take the powder brush that I used and just kind of blend everything together because we don't want no harsh lines, you know? Okay, we're going to do highlighter next. I'm wanting to use the Honest Beauty Luminizing Glow Powder, one of my favorite highlighters of the year, which by the way, if you guys didn't see my Best of Beauty series, I will have the videos linked down below because I talk about so many incredible products that I discovered this year or that were my favorites all year long. I have a drugstore video, a high-end makeup video, and then also hair, skin, and nail products. So if you haven't seen those yet, be sure to watch them. I'm just applying this to the high points of the face. And I'm kind of covering a larger surface area with this because I have another highlighter that I want to layer on top. Since it's New Year's, we're going to be a little more extra. It's so pretty. For blush, I grabbed two because I wasn't sure which one I wanted to go with. Ooh, this one's really pretty. I think I'm going to use this. This is the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Blush in the shade Call My Blush. I'll need my blush brush for this. Okay, I'm just gonna take a tiny bit, tap off the extra, and then smile and apply it to the apples of the cheeks to add that bit of pink back to the skin. I'm gonna take what's left and kind of put it on the forehead a little bit, across the nose a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do things a little different. I'm gonna do the lips, then we will revisit the brows, and then we'll add more highlighter. For lips, I'm wanting to use the NYX Suede Lip Liner. This is in the shade Sandstorm. I'm just gonna line and fill in the lips with this. This is such a pretty lip liner. Okay, once that's applied, I'm gonna take the ColourPop Ultra Glossy Lip. This is in the shade Fairy Floss, and I'm just gonna take this all over the lips. And I'm gonna really try to blend it in with the lip liner. So after I apply it, I'm gonna go ahead and tap it into the lips with my finger. Okay, we're going back into the brows really quickly. I'm just gonna brush everything up. And I'm just adding a few more brow hairs to this inner portion. I'm gonna step back and assess the situation. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Ciate bronzer on the small eyeshadow brush that we used as the transition shade brush on the lower lash line. And I just feel like adding a little bit of this bronzer will help tie everything together. And I also feel like I can use a little bit more color on the lower lash line. So I'm just gonna add a bit of that. Okay, I'm gonna take my brush that we used for powder under the eyes and just kind of dust away any fallout. Also gonna kind of blend the edges of the blush here. Okay, I really like that. We're gonna go ahead and go into the final step. Well, the second to last. Okay, this is one of the final steps. This is the Glossier Play Night Shine Highlight Concentrator. I wanted to use this because it just really amps up any look, and I wanted to use it on top of the Honest Beauty highlighter. So I'm just gonna do a few dots like this, and then I'm gonna take my finger and really lightly blend this out into the skin on the very high points of the cheeks. And I'm really just gonna take my time to make sure that this is blended into the cheeks as nicely as possible. But I feel like it just adds a nice extra touch of highlight and glow, which I think is perfect for New Year's. Same thing on this side. I'm being really gentle, and I'm just using pressing motions to blend that out on the cheeks. I'm just gonna take my sponge, I'm flipping it over to the other side, and I'm just lightly pressing that down into the skin a little bit more. I'm gonna add a tiny little bit on at the very center of my nose. Okay, I think that is good. Okay, I'm gonna take out the hair clips so that we can figure out if there's anything else we want to add before we lock it in. I'm really happy with how this looks. I honestly feel like this would go with so many different outfits. It's super glam, but also like still wearable in my opinion. So I'm really happy with it. Okay, let's go ahead and set the face, and then we will set the brows. Wait, do I like the amount of bronzer? I think so. You never know with me. Yeah, I think that's nice. I think it's, I'm gonna add more. Clearly I'm indecisive. Okay, we're just gonna put a tiny bit more of that Ciate bronzer on the face. Mostly on the forehead actually, and a little more on the cheeks. Okay, I think that's where I want it. We're gonna use the Fourth Ray Beauty Glisten Up Mist. Now, this is not a new product to me. Like, I've had it for a while, but I have not used it very much. So I wanted to use it today because I wanted to kind of figure out my opinion on it. All right, I'm gonna spray this all over the face. Oh my gosh, it really spits at you. Oh no. Oh gosh. Was that a mistake? It might have been. I'm gonna use my handy fan. Then I'm gonna take my sponge and lightly press over everything. If you're gonna be out all night, I would definitely recommend using the Urban Decay All Nighter or some other long-lasting setting spray. You could even apply it right now, like after applying more of a dewy setting spray to help lock things in. I'm just gonna leave it as is for myself for now. Let's go ahead and set the brows. I'm gonna use the Glossier Boy Brow in Clear. I'm just gonna run that through the brows to make sure they stay all night. All right, you guys, so that completes this final New Year's makeup look. I hope you guys love it as much as I do. I feel like it's so me, but it's amped up a little bit for New Year's. I feel like New Year's Eve is always a fun time to play around with something different when it comes to makeup. But like I said before, this is still neutral colors. It's still wearable. It will go with a lot of different outfits. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Hopefully you take some inspiration from it. Let me know in the comments below what makeup you're planning on wearing for New Year's Eve. I would love to know what you guys are up to and what you're planning on wearing and all that stuff. So leave a comment down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. Oh, I love this makeup look. Doesn't the Tati Beauty glitter just complete everything? This palette, you guys, it's so good for all year round, but especially the holidays. I've been getting so much use out of it, and I'm just in love with this look, so I hope you guys enjoyed it too. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you guys in my next video. Love you. Bye!